Don't know how to appreciate this kind of art. So disturbing. Art is beautiful, but why needs to be babies' heads or organs? You are just sick. Whoever did this is insane. Hi everyone, my name is Tishan, but I'm also known as Qimmyshimmy. I am a sculptor. I will tell people that I'm a miniature sculptor, and then when they see what I do, they get a bit, I use polymer clay, a mixture of like highlighter powders. I use makeup for all my works, as well as clay glass. The process is kind of going from a familiar object and then trying to see how that object can be twisted to look out of its everyday context. As a designer, I work in an environment where we always want to create things that are very exciting. Maybe it will be interesting to test whether things that we associate with desirability can be portrayed in a way that's different. I think I've always been fascinated and curious about like why we find certain things really desirable and then the other things are really repulsive and disgusting. This is the kind of like humor and language that I like in my work. How do I feel about these comments? I think in a way for me it is good. That's what makes pop art interesting. It's also about like how the entire society interacts with it.
The emotional response which art provokes in them, for them it crosses that red line. It's a cognitive bias. The person rejects it because the emotions triggered are so strong.
Usually when I make my works, I do not really have like a very deep thought process behind it. But the interesting thing is that people will associate my works with certain ideas. You will start to realize what matters to different people. Qimmyshimmy has a way of exposing the beauty and discomfort of vulnerability. Usually when people come up to me and they say that they like my work, they usually tell me that it is very original. So I think like there is an element, there is a freshness to my works that people are drawn to. Her works blend the hyper-realistic and surrealistic, creating a tension between the imagined and reality. Her works are both repulsive and alluring. When I showed my works to curators in Europe, in the Netherlands in particular, it was like they saw my works and they were like, this is really interesting, like you should do a show here. And it kind of like snowballed from there. Because after I did that show, then there were like a couple more shows like around like Portugal, in New York, in Italy. The proof is in the pudding, and Tishan's work doesn't disappoint at all. Yeah, and I just had the opportunity to just fly my works around, to be shown next to all these people that I have admired for such a long time. It gave me like, it was like a big confidence booster. And the last one, ooh, poetic. Wow. Once your work is being placed on an international platform, you start to see people, like communities that are more suited for you. And I think that's the voice that I found with these international shows. For me, it's fun when I have like two opposite sets of reaction from people. Because as an artist, of course, I like it when people appreciate my work, but sometimes art is not just about people loving or admiring your craft, but it can also be about generating some sort of response, like whether it is negative or positive. I do appreciate the fact that people get back to me with their opinions about my work, even if it is like very critical. Yeah. Banksy said something along the lines of art should comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable.